So here are some fads that are currently popular and the truths behind them. A. We need special shoes to fix our problems. Current research has found that although the footwear industry has made significant advancements in quality of construction and use of new materials and methods of midsole construction, there has yet to be a corresponding decrease in injury rates in runners. In other words, despite all the hype and glitz and cost associated with some fancy shoes, runners are still getting injured. Something to think about. B. African runners always run minimalist. Some books have touted that African runners are the example for technique and have based the rationale for minimalist running and its associated techniques on it. For example, a study by Lieberman tells us that 80% of African runners who aren't accustomed to shoes landed on their forefoot. But another study by Hatala on a different tribe of African runners revealed that 72% landed on their rear foot. Again, the industry leading the market by promoting self-supporting research that there is only one way to do something. Theirs. C. Minimalist shoes. According to Runner's World, minimalist shoes are defined as footwear providing minimal interface with the natural movement of the foot due to its high flexibility, low heel to toe drop, weight and stack height, and the absence of motion control and stability devices. This type of shoe was promoted by the fad that if you wanted to run like an African, then you should use these shoes. Again, not everyone was able to benefit from this, and many actually made their conditions worse or created new ones. Some pros associated with the minimalist shoe include decreased knee stress if landing with more of a midfoot strike. Also, the use of minimalist shoes required greater use and strength of the foot and ankle muscles. Now, some cons of the minimalist shoes include a potentially lengthy time period to transition to wearing minimalist shoes to avoid injury, because the limited cushioning the knee and heel may be overstressed if landing with a rear heel foot strike. And, ironically, because the use of this type of shoe requires greater use and strength of the foot and ankle muscles, there is a risk of injury just by using them. Changes that will be noticed will include a faster cadence, shorter stride length, lighter contact style, changes in kinematics and kinetics, as well as walking economy. While some injuries are eliminated with these changes, others are created. And D. Now we seem to be swinging to the other side with maximalist shoes. Maximalist shoes were originally designed with the ultra long distance runner in mind and therefore have large amounts of cushion to help decrease the stress of heel impact that occurs from several hours of running. Current research from Barnes and Bishop state that too much cushioning causes the runner to land with increased limb stiffness and can lead to instability due to less proprioceptive feedback for stability. Those who are having trouble staying in charge of their gait technique will probably have less benefit from these shoes. While there isn't much research available on these shoes yet, it would seem that it will also come with its own problems, probably around loss of foot control and gait issues from overtraining. We'll have to just wait and see what the research shows. So, the pros associated with maximal shoes include additional shock absorption, especially for the trail, downhill, and long distance, ultra running. And the cons include extra cushion that may make some runners take harder landings than normal, likely form a hard heel strike pattern. They require less intrinsic foot strength, in which the foot and ankle may be working differently and changing the normal running technique. And lastly, there is currently very little unbiased research backing up the pros and cons of these shoes. And E, motion control shoes are designed for those who overpronate. Remember, the foot normally rolls in and downward as a way of absorbing shock as the foot lands on the ground. The problem occurs when the foot can't do it, either due to muscle weakness or more commonly to poor arch health of the foot. Research done by Ryan in 2010 found that motion control shoes had the most injuries occurring with neutral and stability shoes being the best. So, generally, a person who gets a motion control shoe should actually be fit with a custom orthotic rather than getting a motion control shoe. So the rationale behind this is that the shoe is not a custom fit, nor are you able to benefit from any correction once you're no longer wearing the shoe. Those with pronation issues should look for constant correction when wearing any of their shoes rather than just while running. This can only occur with the use of a custom orthotic rather than the occasional use of a motion control shoe. As with any sport or activity, variety is the key to injury avoidance. Anytime that you continue to perform an activity over and over, whether it's running, cycling, swimming, walking, or whatever, there is a higher chance of complications associated with it. Repeated muscle contraction movement and stress patterns occur that can initially be helpful, but can also become problems, almost like ruts in our training that can lead to problems. That's why regularly shaking it up with cross-training is such a great idea to incorporate into your workout routine. So, I hope that information helps you better understand what you're looking for and some of the truths behind the more common fads that are being touted in the marketplace.